The world is a pretty dark place, and I don't just mean recently, I mean throughout all of human history. From diseases to plagues, from persecutions to genocides, from battles to world wars, from starvation to radiation. So when a world so bogged down with internal conflict and struggle, a world so tied up in fighting itself with loud opinions and ultimately just overflowing with so much noise, there's only one place I long to be. Space. For as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to go to space. I actually have this recurring dream where I am just shooting through space, looking at all the beautiful planets and anomalies that are out there. Our solar system is one of 100,000 million in our galaxy, the Milky Way. And the Milky Way is one of millions and millions of other galaxies in our universe, filled with other solar systems and planets. There are so many wonders out there that we as a species will never lay our eyes on, and that is one of the main draws I have towards going into space, being able to witness these phenomenons that no one else ever would. Another thing I like about space is the absolute silence of it. Despite it being filled with a lot of huge moving celestial bodies, constant explosions, and just teeming with chaos, it is absolutely silent. Of course, this silence is due to there being no atmosphere in space, meaning there is no air or medium for vibrations and sounds to travel through, and this lack of oxygen means that I would have to have some sort of suit, which according to my research costs upwards of $15 million. This, coupled with the fact that I don't know the first thing about being an astronaut, keeps me from experiencing the beauty of space. So I guess I'll have to figure out another way to experience it.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its continuing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
Before we get too deep into this, I do want to give a shout out to all the different Star Trek shows, the original series, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, the Enterprise, not Discovery, and not Picard. All of these shows are great in their own right, but none of them have really connected with me the same way that Star Trek The Next Generation does. The original Star Trek series was created by one Gene Roddenberry and was pitched as a wagon train to the stars. For those of you that aren't aware, a wagon train is a group of those wagons that pioneers used to use whenever they were traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast of America, which is something I learned while writing this video. Funny how that works. So the show is about exploration of the final frontier, space. Gene Roddenberry was very adamant that no conflict should arise from inside the ship. Every argument and unrest would come from outside forces. Star Trek, boiled down to its core elements, is a show about a spaceship full of well-mannered, friendly professionals going across the universe, seeing things no one has ever seen, helping people and planets in their struggles, and I mean, who doesn't want that?
They used to say if a man could fly, he'd have wings. But he did fly. He discovered he had to. Do you wish that the first Apollo mission hadn't reached the moon, or that we hadn't gone on to Mars and then to the nearest star? That's like saying you wish that you still operated with scalpels and sewed your patients up with catgut, like your great-great-great-great-grandfather used to. I'm in command. I could order this. But I'm not. Because Dr. McCoy is right in pointing out the enormous danger potential in any contact with life and intelligence as fantastically advanced as this. But I must point out that the possibilities, the potential for knowledge and advancement is equally great. Risk is our business. That's what the Starship is all about. That's why we're aboard her.
Star Trek The Next Generation is full of lovable characters, like Wesley Crusher, a 15-year-old boy in the first season who we watch grow as a character and as an actor throughout the rest of the seasons. He's a very smart, very kind boy who is always trying his best to make friends and to learn new things. He makes me think of the ideal youth, someone who's excited by life and knowledge. We've also got Geordi LaForge, our chief engineer on the Enterprise. For those of you that don't know, he is blind, and my favorite part about that is that his blindness doesn't make him worse at his job. In fact, it makes him better. But his greatest strength is his intelligence. He's extremely smart, he's extremely kind, and he's always trying to find new ways to improve the way things are done on the ship. And of course, we can't talk about Geordi without talking about his best friend, Data.
Damn. Try a bypass on the shield control interface.
No go. Let me see if I can directly access the master program.
Data?
Yes?
What happened?
Any answer would be mere speculation. This is yet another example of how our actions have random results.
Thanks, Data. I noticed.
Data is the first and only song-type android to enter into Starfleet Academy. As a child, I personally used to find it very difficult to understand people in social cues, and I had to work very hard at it to be considered normal. And this is Data's entire existence.
Captain? Bridge?
It has been quite a day. Has it not?
Yes, it has.
However, a change of routine is often invigorating and can be a welcome diversion after a long assignment.
Exactly.
I understand that Arcaria has some very interesting weather patterns.
Mr. Data, are you all right?
Yes, sir. I am attempting to fill a silent moment with non-relevant conversation.
Small talk.
Yes, sir. I have found that humans often use small talk during awkward moments. Therefore, I have written a new subroutine for that purpose. How did I do?
Perhaps it was a little too non-relevant.
He is constantly trying to be more human, whether it's through painting, music, writing, reading, or my personal favorite, comedy.
Computer, I wish to know more about humor.
Guy walks into the doctor's office. The doctor tells him you need an operation. The guy says, I want a second opinion. The doctor says, okay, you're ugly too. Boom, boom. Was that funny?
No.
I think the best way to explain it is with the quote from the TNG movie Star Trek Nemesis. In his quest to be more like us, he helped us to see what it means to be human. His wonder, his curiosity about every facet of human nature allowed all of us to see the best parts of ourselves. He evolved. He embraced change because he always wanted to be better than he was. Data shouldn't be relatable because he isn't human, but in that, I actually find him more relatable. Speaking of relatable, we have First Officer William T. Riker. Not only is Riker smart, kind, and very professional, but he also has a great sense of humor. In any given situation, Riker will be cracking wise or laughing at the ridiculousness of the situation.
He is not very attractive, but I will have him.
They are inquisitive. They would like to know how you would endure.
Endure what?
Them.
One or both?
I may be back for you.
She's serious?
He isn't one-dimensional, though. We see time and time again within the show that he's an incredible leader with depth. Depth and leadership are actually a perfect segue into our next and final character I want to talk about. Captain Jean-Luc Picard exudes all the things I want to be. He's valiant, diplomatic, cunning, persistent, dutiful, reliable, affable, and he gives the best damn speeches in the whole universe.
I question your actions, Captain. I question your choices. I question your loyalty.
You know, There are some words I've known since I was a schoolboy. With the first link, the chain is forged. The first speech censured, the first thought forbidden, the first freedom denied, chains us all irrevocably. Those words were uttered by Judge Aaron Satie as wisdom and warning. The first time any man's freedom is trodden on, we're all damaged.
I want to live in a world with more people like Picard, Riker, Data, Geordi, and Crusher. Ones that are willing to put themselves on the line in order to fight for what is right, and are more worried with doing right by others than by their bottom dollar. The thought that eventually we will reach a point where we are no longer petty and vain is very comforting to me. Star Trek gives me hope. And I know that might sound a little overdramatic, but that's why I call this. Thanks for watching.